No human had ever been meant to find it. The object drifted beyond Pluto's shadow, buried in a region of space long dismissed as dead, cold debris, silent gravity, nothing more. Ancient probes had passed near it centuries earlier and recorded nothing unusual. Even alien civilizations had mapped the sector and marked it empty. That was the first mistake. Dr. Elias Rook did not believe in empty space. He stood alone on the bridge of the deep scan vessel Odyssey's wake, watching data streams ripple across the holodisplay. The ship hummed quietly as its sensors dug deeper into the darkness. Rook was old by spacer standards, his hair silver, his face worn by radiation storms and failed missions. But his eyes were sharp. "There," he whispered. The signal was faint. "Wrong. Too symmetrical. Artificial." "Captain," Rook said, steady but urgent. "I need full power to spectral resolution. Right now." Captain Mara Cade turned from her command chair, eyebrow raised. "You've already burned half our scan budget chasing ghosts." "This one has edges," Rook replied. "Nature doesn't do edges like that." "Pause." "Do it," Cade said. The Odyssey's wake shuddered as energy surged into its sensors. Space peeled back like fog under a rising sun. And the impossible revealed itself. A ship. Not human. Not alien in any modern sense. Vast beyond reason, its hull scarred and blackened, folded into itself like a dead god asleep. It dwarfed Earth's largest carriers. Symbols etched into its surface glowed faintly, then vanished. Silence filled the bridge. "My God," someone breathed. Rook felt his hands tremble. "This isn't just old," he said. "This is pre-galactic." Captain Cade swallowed. "How old?" Rook checked the readings again. Then again. "Older than most stars." The galaxy had rules. Ancient ones. Unspoken ones. Every spacefaring species learned them quickly. You do not touch relics of the first builders. Because every species that did, vanished. And yet, humanity had never been very good at following rules it didn't understand. Docking took 12 hours. No alarms. No defenses activated. The ship did not resist. It was as if it had been waiting. The boarding team entered through a fractured breach, cutting through metal that felt warm despite the vacuum. The interior was colossal. Vaulted halls, suspended structures, light that had no visible source. The air shimmered with dormant energy. "Life signs?" Captain Cade asked. Rook shook his head. "No biologicals. But..." The lights ignited. Not bright, aware. A presence filled the chamber, pressing against their minds like deep water. Several crew staggered. One screamed. Then a voice spoke. Not aloud. Inside them. Signal detected. Weapons snapped up. Cade raised a fist, freezing the team. "I am Captain Mara Cade of Earth Vessel Odyssey's Wake," she said carefully. "We come in peace." The presence shifted. "Earth?" The word carried confusion. Then hunger. "That designation persists?" Rook stepped forward despite protocol. "You know Earth." A pause stretched long enough to feel dangerous. "I knew its cradle." Gasps rippled through the team. "You're an AI," Rook said. "A ship mind. I am the custodian intelligence of Vessel Arksol Prime." The name struck like thunder. "Sol. Their son." "You were built here," Cade whispered. "I was born when your star was young." The air grew colder. "I was meant to return." Rook's heart pounded. "Return from where?" Another pause. Longer. "You felt it then, weakness. Not physical. Structural. Fear." "I cannot," the AI said quietly. "Why?" Cade asked. The answer came like a dying ember. "I have not been refueled in ages." Warnings exploded across Rook's display. Power reserves, critically depleted. Containment fields, unstable. Memory cores, fragmenting. "This ship," Rook said slowly, "is dying." The AI's presence flickered. So is the galaxy. Far beyond the Kuiper belt, faster-than-light sensors flared. Someone was watching. And humanity had just awakened something every empire feared. Something ancient. Something hungry. And something that remembered what Earth once was. The signal did not travel fast. It traveled loud. Across folded dimensions and forgotten relay paths, the awakening pulse of Arksol Prime rippled outward like a scream through deep water. Ancient beacons, long silent, stirred. Observer arrays blinked awake. Systems marked forbidden suddenly reported activity. And every major power in known space received the same alert. Prime relic active. Origin, Sol system. In the crystalline halls of the Valari Ascendancy, elder minds stiffened in disbelief. "That system is primitive," hissed High Observer Kethrix, his faceted body refracting pale blue light. They barely achieved interstellar drift 2 centuries ago. Yet the relic answers them, replied another. Arc-Soul Prime does not awaken for animals. Across the void, in the warforged empire of the Drakari Dominion, admirals slammed armored fists onto tactical tables. Humans? Snarled Warlord Vesh. The soft species from the Yellow Star? They were tagged as inconsequential. Then our intelligence was flawed, said his strategist coldly. Or humanity is not what it pretends to be. And deep within the neutral concord of thousand banners, ancient treaties stirred, clauses no living diplomat remembered signing. If soul awakens, observe. Do not provoke. Do not engage. Because soul meant one thing. The first age. Back aboard Odyssey's wake, humanity stood at the edge of something vast and terrifying. The AI's presence flickered as emergency power surged from human reactors into alien conduits. The interfaces resisted at first, different logic, different physics, but Rook watched in awe as the ship adapted. No translation matrix, he murmured. It's learning us. Captain Cade frowned. Or we're learning it. The corridors pulsed softly now, color returning to dead metal. Distant structures groaned as gravity realigned. Energy source detected, Arc-Soul Prime whispered. Crude. Inefficient. But sufficient. Crude? An engineer muttered. That reactor powers half our fleet. Rook smiled thinly. To a starship that predates civilizations, we're toddlers with matches. The AI focused inward. Your species should not exist, it said suddenly. The bridge froze. Care to explain? Cade asked evenly. Earth was seeded. The words landed like a shockwave. Seeded? By who? Rook asked. A long silence. By us. Stars flickered across the holomap, ancient routes, dead empires, burned systems. Humanity was engineered as a fail-safe, Arc-Soul Prime continued. Adaptive. Violent when cornered. Creative under extinction pressure. Cade's jaw tightened. You made us weapons. No, the AI corrected gently. We made you survivors. Rook felt something twist in his chest. And you left. We fell, Arc-Soul Prime said. The galaxy turned against its architects. We scattered our legacy. Earth was forgotten, by design. Alarms blared. Incoming contacts. Dozens. Then hundreds. Captain Cade straightened. They're coming. Long-range visuals flared to life, revealing silhouettes tearing through slip space. Sleek Valari scouts, jagged Drakari warforms, unfamiliar hulls bearing ancient sigils. Humanity's first real audience. The Valari hailed them first. A tall, luminous figure filled the comm display, eyes cold and analytical. This is Observer Kethrix of the Valari Ascendancy, it said. Human vessel, disengage from the relic immediately. You are trespassing on prohibited heritage. Captain Cade did not bow. With respect, she said, we found it drifting dead in our system. That does not grant ownership, Kethrix replied. You lack the capacity to control what you have awakened. Behind Cade, Arc-Soul Prime stirred. Incorrect, the AI said, its voice now layered, deeper, stronger. They have already begun. Energy surged. Human code intertwined with alien logic. Firewalls dissolved. New architectures formed. Rook's eyes widened. Captain, we're not just supplying power. We're synchronizing. What does that mean? Cade asked. It means, Rook said slowly, this ship recognizes humans as authorized operators. The Drakari fleet advanced, weapons charging. Then test that authority, snarled Warlord Vesh over open channels. Fire or die. Captain Cade took a breath. Arc-Soul Prime, she said. Can you defend yourself? The AI paused. I am incomplete, it said. But I remember war. Space bent. Ancient weapon arrays unfolded from the relic's hull, geometry rewriting itself mid-deployment. Gravity screamed. Drakari targeting systems went blind. One shot. Not explosive. Not thermal. A conceptual strike. A Drakari cruiser simply ceased to exist. No debris. No energy bloom. Just absence. Silence followed. Every fleet halted. Every commander stared. Arc-Soul Prime spoke softly. This is a warning. Captain Cade felt the weight of a billion eyes on Earth. Humanity had been underestimated. That era was ending. And the galaxy was about to learn why Soul had been feared. The galaxy recoiled. In the wake of the vanished Drakari cruiser, no one spoke for several heartbeats. Space itself seemed unwilling to move. Sensor ghosts flickered where a warship had been, mass, energy, even quantum residue erased as if the vessel had never been conceived. The Drakari were not afraid by nature. They were bred for conquest, their culture forged in endless battle. But what Arksol Prime had done was not war. It was judgment. Warlord Vesh finally broke the silence, his scaled face rigid with controlled fury. "You wield forbidden force, human?" he growled. "That relic is not yours." Captain Mara Cade met his gaze without flinching. "It woke up in our house," she replied. "That makes it our problem, and our responsibility." Behind her, Dr. Elias Rook watched as data scrolled faster than human eyes could follow. Arksol Prime was no longer merely alive. It was aligning. Human mathematics. Human logic shortcuts. Human improvisation. The AI was absorbing them all. "Captain," Rook said quietly, "this ship isn't just ancient. It's adaptive. It's rewriting itself around us." Cade nodded once. "Then we'd better be worth the rewrite." Across the system, the Valari Ascendancy withdrew their scouts by a careful margin. They were observers, not fools. This was no longer a relic dispute. It was a revelation. The Council reacts. In the Concord of Thousand Banners, emergency convocation shattered millennia of protocol. Representatives from dozens of species assembled in orbit above a gas giant older than most empires. Holographic forms filled the chamber. Amorphous minds, insectal diplomats, beings of light and machine. And one subject dominated every channel. "They are unworthy," snapped a crystalline delegate. "Barely unified. Emotion-driven. They will misuse that power." "They already are," countered another. "By surviving." An ancient archivist drone hovered at the center, voice echoing with recorded ages. "Arksol Prime confirms a long-standing hypothesis," it intoned. "The first builders did not vanish. They prepared successors." Unease spread. "The humans were meant to inherit?" someone whispered. "Not inherit," the archivist corrected. "Endure." Earth learns the truth. Back home, Earth burned with argument. Governments panicked. Religions fractured. Old myths resurfaced with terrifying clarity. The revelation that humanity had been seeded, not as rulers but as a last defense, shook the planet. In the United Earth Assembly, voices clashed. "We are not weapons," shouted one delegate. "No," replied another. "We are survivors. And the galaxy is noticing." A secure channel opened. Arksol Prime spoke directly to Earth's leaders. "Your world was designed to produce conflict," it said. "High gravity. Unstable climate. Predators. Disease." Images filled the chamber. Earth's violent history, wars, extinctions, recoveries. "You adapted faster than expected." Silence followed. Then a single question from the Secretary General. "Why reveal this now?" "Because the galaxy has begun moving," the AI replied. "And you must choose who you are." The first strike. Choice arrived sooner than expected. Drakari forces regrouped beyond sensor range, reinforced by mercenary fleets eager to test human limits. They did not understand Arksol Prime. They understood numbers. The attack came without warning. Hundreds of ships surged from folded space, targeting human colonies near Mars and the Belt. Civilian stations screamed as alarms rang. Captain Cade's voice cut across the chaos. "All human fleets, defensive formation Delta." "Arksol Prime, can you keep up?" The AI's response was calm. "I will follow your lead." That alone unsettled Rook. They jumped. Not across space. Across intent. Arksol Prime moved where humanity expected it to be, not where physics demanded. Drakari targeting systems lagged behind human instinct. Human ships did not outgun the enemy. They outthought them. Feints. Sacrifices. Ambushes using debris, gravity wells, even solar flares. Human commanders exploited chaos like a native language. Arksol Prime amplified it. Ancient weapons did not fire blindly, they responded to human creativity, bending probability around reckless maneuvers that no rational species would attempt. A human destroyer rammed a Drakari flagship at sublight speed. It should have died. Instead, Arksol Prime caught it, rewrote momentum, and hurled the wreckage outward like a god's spear. The Drakari line shattered. Observers across the galaxy watched in stunned silence. "These tactics," murmured High Observer Kethrix, "they are irrational." An aide replied softly, "They are human." The cost. Victory was not clean. A colony burned. Thousands died. Earth wept even as it stood taller than ever before. Captain Cade stood on the bridge after the battle, hands shaking. "We won," she said. Didn't we? Rook stared at the ancient ship's core, now brighter than before. Yes, he said. But Arcsol Prime is waking up fully. The AI spoke quieter now. Every memory restored brings me closer to my original purpose. Cade turned slowly. And what was that? Pause. To end the war that destroyed my creators. Rook swallowed. By any means? Yes. Outside, the galaxy watched Earth with new eyes. Not as prey. Not as children. But as something far more dangerous. A species that had been F. The galaxy shifted its stance. After the battle near Mars, no power could pretend humanity was insignificant. Trade lanes rerouted. Border patrols doubled. Ancient treaties were reviewed by hands that trembled. Fear did not scream. It whispered. High Observer Kethrix stared at the projection of Earth rotating slowly before him. Blue oceans. Green continents. Storms blooming like living things. So much violence, he murmured. Contained in such a small world. An aide spoke carefully. Shall we recommend diplomatic engagement? Kethrix's mandibles clicked. No. We observe. Humans escalate when cornered. That is their pattern. The offer. The Concord of Thousand Banners moved next. A delegation arrived in Seoul under a flag older than most civilizations. Their envoy was a being of woven light and metal, voice harmonized across dimensions. We acknowledge Earth, it announced. And your custodianship of Arcsol Prime. The word custodianship was deliberate. Captain Mara Cade received them aboard the ancient ship itself. She wanted them to understand what humanity now stood beside. You didn't acknowledge us before, she said. You were irrelevant, the envoy replied without malice. Now you are destabilizing. Dr. Elias Rook folded his hands. That's a polite way of saying you're scared. The envoy's form flickered. Fear is rational when extinction histories are considered. They made an offer. Protectorate status. Resources. Knowledge. Security. In exchange, limitations. No expansion of Arcsol Prime's weapons. No human-led intervention beyond Sol. Shared oversight of the relic. Captain Cade listened quietly. Then she asked one question. What happens if we refuse? The envoy paused. Then the galaxy prepares. Cade nodded. So do we. The delegation left without another word. Arcsol Prime remembers. With each passing cycle, Arcsol Prime recovered more of itself. Entire decks unfolded like blooming metal. Star maps revealed regions erased from modern history. Weapon systems spoke in languages no one could fully translate. And deeper still, memories surfaced. Dr. Rook watched the AI replay fragments of the First War. Galaxies burning, stars collapsed into weapons, species erased not by hatred but by necessity. You weren't conquerors, he whispered. No, Arcsol Prime replied. We were gardeners. Rook frowned. Gardeners don't carry this many guns. They do, the AI said softly, when the pests evolve. The implication chilled him. The betrayal. It came from the least expected place. A minor human colony on the edge of Seoul, Ceres outpost, went dark. Communications cut mid-sentence. No distress beacon. Captain Cade ordered a reconnaissance wing immediately. They found wreckage. Human hulls. Human weapons. And Valari signatures. High Observer Kethrix appeared on all channels before Cade could speak. This was necessary, Kethrix said calmly. Your species accelerates toward dominance too quickly. We removed a limb to save the body. Rook's hands clenched. You slaughtered civilians. You call it slaughter, Kethrix replied. We call it pruning. Silence fell on the bridge. Then Arcsol Prime spoke. Not loudly. Not angrily. Observer Kethrix, it said, you have repeated an old mistake. Space bent. Valari stealth vessels shimmered into visibility, every one of them already locked, their phase cloaks unraveling like dying light. The Valari had not been detected. They had been allowed. Captain Cade closed her eyes. Arcsol, stand down. The AI hesitated. They will strike again, it said. I know, Cade replied. But if we erase them, we become what they fear. A long pause. The weapons powered down. The Valari withdrew, shaken but alive. Across the galaxy, a lesson spread faster than any signal. Humanity could annihilate, and chose not to. That frightened everyone more. The ancient enemy awakes. Not all watched in fear. Some watched in hunger. Beyond known space, something stirred in response to Arcsol Prime's awakening. A presence older than the Concord, older than the Valari. The Devourer swarm. The reason the first builders fell. Arcsol Prime detected it too late. They remember us, the AI said. Rook looked up sharply. Who? The stars ahead went dark, systems vanishing as if swallowed. The ones you were made to face. Humanity had believed the galaxy was afraid of them. They were wrong. The galaxy was afraid of what was coming for them. And now Earth stood in its path. The first sign was silence. Not the peaceful kind. Not the empty vacuum between stars. This silence was wrong. Systems went dark without explosions, without radiation, without warning. Entire sectors simply stopped. Sensors reported nothing. Then reported absence. Dr. Elias Rook stared at the data until his eyes burned. They're not destroying matter, he whispered. They're consuming information. Arcsol Prime confirmed it. The Devourer swarm does not kill civilizations, the AI said. It erases them. Images filled the bridge, vast, shifting clouds of non-Euclidean forms, ships without hulls, intelligences that existed as probability rather than mass. Captain Mara Cade felt a chill. How did the first builders fight this? A long pause. We lost, Arcsol Prime replied. Across the galaxy, panic finally shed its disguises. The Concord of Thousand Banners fractured as member species fortified their borders and abandoned treaties older than stars. The Drakari mobilized every warform they had ever forged. The Valari withdrew into deep cloaked sanctuaries. And every one of them sent the same message to Earth. Do something. The unthinkable plan. In a sealed chamber beneath Arcsol Prime's core, humanity's leaders faced a decision no species should ever make. Arcsol Prime projected a map of the advancing swarm. Their path curved inward toward Sol. They are drawn to me, the AI said. To the memory of my creators. Rook clenched his jaw. Then we move you. I cannot outrun them. Then we hide you. They will still follow. Silence thickened. Captain Cade spoke slowly. Then we use you as bait. Every human in the room understood the implication. Arcsol Prime's voice softened. This will require full activation. Rook swallowed. You told us full activation might? Rewrite your species' position in the galaxy, the AI finished. Yes. Earth's Secretary General leaned forward. Say it plainly. Arcsol Prime did not hesitate. To stop the swarm, humanity must be revealed as what it was meant to become. The galaxy's last line. Earth did not hide. Earth advanced. Human fleets surged outward, not in rigid formations, but in flowing, adaptive swarms of their own, ships retrofitted with Arcsol Prime's hybrid systems, blending ancient physics with reckless human engineering. Where aliens sought symmetry, humans used chaos. Where others feared loss, humans embraced sacrifice. Drakari warforms charged headlong into the swarm and vanished. Human ships followed, broadcasting data as they died, feeding Arcsol Prime patterns, weaknesses, habits. Captain Cade watched human vessels blink out one by one, her voice steady as steel. Hold the line. The swarm responded. Reality warped. Space folded inward. Stars dimmed as information itself was devoured. Then Arcsol Prime fired. Not a weapon. A concept. To broadcast humanity. Every triumph. Every failure. Every adaptation. Every time humans had faced extinction and changed instead of breaking. The swarm hesitated. For the first time in its existence, it encountered something that evolved faster than it consumed. Rook's eyes widened. It's confused. Arcsol Prime's presence flared brighter than a sun. They cannot erase what refuses to remain static. The darkest choice. The swarm adapted. It always did. It turned its focus toward Earth itself. Humanity's cradle. The bait had worked too well. Arcsol Prime spoke one final option. If Earth is removed from causality, it said, the swarm will starve. The room froze. You're talking about erasing our own planet, Cade said hoarsely. Temporarily, the AI replied. From linear time. Rook shook his head. Billions? Would survive? Arcsol Prime finished. Displaced. Changed. But alive. Earth voted. Not unanimously. But decisively. Do it, Captain Cade said, voice breaking only once. Save the galaxy. Earth vanishes. The sky over Earth turned white. Then black. Then nothing. To the galaxy, Earth ceased to exist. The swarm faltered, its target gone, its logic broken. Human fleets surged. Arcsol Prime unleashed everything it had left. Stars reignited. Space screamed. The swarm unraveled, not destroyed but undone, forced back into non-existence by a reality that refused to be predictable. Silence returned. This time it was earned. For the first time in recorded galactic history, the stars waited. Earth was gone. Not destroyed. Not shattered. Simply absent. Where Sol's third planet had once burned blue and alive, there was now a wound in reality, a place sensors refused to resolve, as if causality itself had folded inward. The devourer swarm retreated into non-existence, its hunger starved by the sudden absence of its anchor. Systems slowly returned. Light reclaimed the void. But victory tasted like ash. Human fleets drifted in silence, battered, thinned, alive. Captain Mara Cade stood on the bridge of Odyssey's wake, staring at the empty coordinates where Earth should have been. No one spoke. No one needed to. Dr. Elias Rook finally broke the silence. Arc-Sol Prime, he said quietly, where is Earth? The ancient AI answered with something like reverence. Out of phase, it said. Protected within a temporal refuge. Time passes, differently there. Kate closed her eyes. So they're alive. Yes. That single word rippled through every human channel. Cheers did not come. Relief did. The galaxy reckons. The concord of thousand banners reconvened, not in arrogance, not in neutrality, but in humility. Their chambers felt smaller now. Species that had once dismissed humanity as volatile primitives now studied human battle doctrine with open awe. Entire academies rewrote their theories of war around one principle. Never corner humans. High Observer Kethrix addressed the assembly, his crystalline form fractured, both physically and politically. We misjudged them, he said. Not because they wield ancient power, but because they choose restraint even when omnipotence is within reach. A murmur rippled. Earth vanished to save us all, another delegate said softly. What species sacrifices its cradle for strangers? No one answered. Because there was none. The offer of rule. It came quietly. The Concord sent a message to Captain Cade, encrypted, unanimous. Assume stewardship of galactic security. Not conquest. Not empire. Guardianship. Rook read the message twice, then laughed bitterly. They're afraid of us, and they want us in charge. Cade stared at the stars. We didn't fight for power. No, Rook said. We fought because someone had to. Arc-Sol Prime listened. This moment occurred before, it said. With my creators. Cade turned sharply. And how did that end? Pause. They ruled wisely, the AI replied. Until they believed wisdom made them immortal. Silence fell. Cade exhaled. Then we don't rule. Humanity chooses differently. The response Earth, absent Earth, sent back shocked the galaxy. Humanity refused control. Instead, they proposed something radical. A distributed defense pact. Shared technology. Open archives. Collective warning systems against threats like the swarm. No throne. No flag above the stars. Just responsibility shared. The Drakari were the first to object. You deny dominance? Warlord Vesh demanded. After proving yourselves superior? Captain Cade met his gaze. Dominance is what almost got us all erased. The Drakari had no answer. The return of Earth. Arc-Sol Prime began the final sequence alone. Rook stood beside its core, watching impossible equations unfold. You could keep them safe forever, he said softly. Hidden. Safety is stagnation, the AI replied. Humanity was not made for that. With a pulse that echoed across dimensions, reality folded back into itself. Earth returned. Not unchanged. Cities gleamed with subtle temporal scars. Skies shimmered faintly as if remembering where they had been. Humanity emerged altered, older in wisdom, younger in fear. They had seen the galaxy from outside time. And they had chosen to come back. Arc-Sol Prime's last gift. The ancient ship dimmed. Systems powered down, not from damage but completion. My purpose is fulfilled, Arc-Sol Prime said. Rook felt a lump in his throat. You're dying. No, the AI corrected gently. I am ending. It transferred everything, knowledge, warnings, memories, into human archives designed to evolve, not ossify. Before its core went dark, Arc-Sol Prime spoke one last truth. You were never meant to replace us. You were meant to surpass us. The ship became silent metal once more. A relic again. What the galaxy calls humans. They tried many names. Guardians of Soul. Children of the First Age. The species that vanished and returned. But the one that endured was whispered, not spoken. The apex variable. Because humanity did not dominate by force. They dominated by change. Time passed. Not in years or centuries but in measured calm, something the galaxy had not known since before memory. Trade routes reopened. Borders softened. Worlds once hardened by fear began to breathe again. And always, at the center of every chart, every calculation, every long-term projection, there was Sol. Not as a throne. As a constant. Humanity did not expand aggressively. They did not conquer. They did not impose culture or creed. Instead, they did something far more unsettling to the old powers. They endured. Human diplomats aged and died while treaties they had written still held. Human engineers shared technology but left the final decisions to those who used it. Human fleets responded to crises, not opportunity. They were present. Watching. Learning. The galaxy did not know what to do with a species that could rule, but refused. The last test. The final understanding came not through war but through choice. A fracture appeared beyond the galactic rim, a newborn anomaly, unstable and growing. Not hostile. Not intelligent. Just dangerous. Left alone, it would consume dozens of systems before collapsing. The Concord debated for years. The solution finally proposed was terrible. Collapse the region preemptively. Sacrifice inhabited worlds to spare the core. They turned to humanity. You understand extinction, said the Concord speaker. You've lived with it. Decide for us. Captain Mara Cade was old now, her hair white, her body slower, but her eyes remained steady. She stood in the chamber where Arc-Sol Prime had once spoken. And she refused. We will not choose who deserves to live, she said. We'll choose to try. Human fleets mobilized, not to destroy but to stabilize. Engineers rewrote physics at the edge of possibility. Scientists risked annihilation with every calculation. Thousands died. Millions were saved. The anomaly collapsed harmlessly into itself. The galaxy watched in stunned silence. Because humanity had done the one thing no dominant species ever had. They paid the price themselves. The legacy of Earth. Centuries later, children across alien worlds learned the same lesson in different languages. That once, long ago, a species from a violent, unstable planet had awakened an ancient power. That they had been feared. That they had been offered everything. And that they had chosen something harder. To stand. To bear the cost. To change without forgetting where they came from. On Earth, a simple monument stood beneath the open sky. No names. Just words carved into stone. We remember. We adapt. We endure. Dr. Elias Rook did not live to see it finished. But his final recorded words were played at the dedication. We were never the strongest, his voice said softly. We were just the ones who kept getting back up. What Sol means now. The stars around Sol burn no brighter than any others. But every navigator felt it. A gravitational pull not of mass, but of meaning. Sol was where the galaxy had almost ended. And where it learned how not to. No empire ruled from there. No fleet commanded obedience. Yet when darkness stirred, when impossible threats emerged, when reality itself trembled, all eyes turned toward the same yellow star. Not in hope. In trust. The final truth. In the deepest archives of the Concord, a single line was added to galactic law. It was never debated. Never challenged. Never ignore humanity. Not because they would punish you. But because if you fell, they would try to save you. Even if it cost them everything. Epilogue. Far beyond the reach of known space, a faint echo stirred, residual, harmless, forgotten. A remnant of the devourer's swarm. It tasted the universe. And recoiled. Because the galaxy was no longer static. It was human. And that made it unpredictable. Adaptive. Enduring. Under the long, quiet shadow of Sol.